Hi, Wellness Warriors! Did you know that there are 6 human hunger signs? Now, the first one may be obvious, and that is because you have a nutritional need, a true need for food and fuel. But the other 5 we're going to discuss today. So, one of them is that you're actually thirsty, and that's why it's always great to keep water bottles handy. You can also consume things like tea, cacao, anything you like, iced tea, different things of that nature. But most of our water sometimes actually comes from food, such as fruits and vegetables. So if we keep those high in our diet, that will also help that factor out, which is typically why people back in the day would scrounge and force for food, because they were actually hungry, but they were getting the food to help nourish them through their thirst. Second reason is that you just need and are craving more variety in your diet. Because let's face it, we can only eat chicken, rice, and broccoli so many times before it gets old. Your body craves a wide variety of nutrition, so that's why it's great to eat the rainbow. The third reason is that your stomach is empty. So it's triggering to your brain and telling it, I need more food, which makes sense. But in the same regard, it's totally natural and normal for you to have a feeling of hunger and for your stomach to be empty. Because if you think about it, at night, typically we're fasting for maybe 10 to 15 hours before we have breakfast again. So it's actually a good normal sensation to experience your body feeling hungry. The fourth reason is low blood sugar. So this is something to be aware of, especially people with diabetes. But even without, we want to stabilize our blood sugar as best we can throughout the day. That's why things like processed food will actually spike it, right? And then we get insulin issues. So a nice thing I found are certain supplements such as UCAN, if you've heard from that for a lifetime before. It helps stabilize your blood sugar, but even just making sure that your meal itself is balanced. It has a carb, a fat, and a protein in it. That'll help keep you full and satisfied longer instead of just dipping into the cookie jar or reaching for that pint of ice cream, right? Also, beware of the beverages you're consuming too. Usually those can be high in sugar, even if it is fruit juice. So watch out for that too. The last and fifth reason why you're actually hungry is because it's an emotional reason. We're coping that way by getting an emotional, again, that brain trigger going to our body and telling us, go to food, it's going to provide you comfort. And let's be honest too, that's a normal, natural feeling that we have in everyday life. You just don't want to always be reaching for food as the way that you cope with life, okay? We want to make sure we have other helpful tools and ways and resources that we can deal with those unsettling, not so happy emotions. So great thing to do to help you if you are noticing and observing and becoming aware that whenever, for instance, you feel sad, you go and reach for chocolate. Or whenever you're feeling stressed, you reach for that bag of chips. A great thing to do would be to acknowledge what's going on, right? And then actually take and journal out your emotion and what's happening. And write down what you're feeling. And write down a variety of ways in the journal entry to combat that. For instance, next time, you feel sad and are turning to chocolate, maybe you have a list of 3 to 5 friends that you're going to shoot a text message to or actually call on the phone and have a conversation with instead before you then say, hey, am I really hungry? Do I really need that chocolate? Or, oh, maybe I just need an ounce of chocolate instead of the whole bar. So I hope those are helpful tips and tricks to get you thinking about different ways that our body is telling us we're hungry when it's not always the real truth.